Alright, I wanted to show you the remake on the set in real time. This dog's already dispatched. Just remove it out of the trap, make sure there's no fur or blood hanging around. And then you can see we've got a lot of loose dirt in here. We're going to pull some of that and use it to cover the setup. For the most part, all of that is what it is. I kind of like to set that. I kind of like to know where my hole's going to be, where my scent's going to be before I ever mess with the trap. I'm going to break up this ground here into the trap a bit. Make sure it's good and broke up. We can set without too many issues. Pull that dirt out of there. Away. And then I like to make sure I have a place to put my chain. Do this too many times, too many remakes that you gotta pull your chain and reset it. Pull your stake and reset it. Bang that chain down in there. Those 550s, man, they're really great. Really a great trap. We just want to make sure it's not going to move. You see how good that's bedded already? So then we just got to get some dirt in here, build up this wall, and make sure that everything on this other loose jaw side doesn't move either. See that? Nice and rock solid bedded. We have a lot of freestall in Oklahoma, so I like to use a pan cover. I just use coffee filters usually. Kind of fold them up to fit. The bigger 650s, I don't need to fold them at all. Put that over there. Pull it tight. I would carry peat moss with me. When I put peat moss, even if it's wet, inside the jaws, I use antifreeze, and the antifreeze reacts with the moisture and dries anything out that it can. So I rarely have an issue with peat moss freezing, even though it does happen from time to time. As long as it's inside the jaw should still be loose enough to move and open up. We've had some unusually warm weather the last week or so, so I'm only using the one layer of antifreeze, but whenever we get into real cold temps, I put antifreeze down, I cover it with dirt, pack it in, I put more antifreeze on top, and then I cover the trap. So that'll be enough there. Not much dirt, just enough to get it packed in real good. Make sure you expose your pan. I always do that. I always make sure this pan's exposed so I know right where it's at. And it's got the lightest layer of dirt on top of it. With the pan cover in there, if you push on that pan, no matter what, it's going to go off. So you can see the trap jaws a little bit. My set's right in there. It's about 10 inches from the scent. And now I'm just going to cover, even though you can see the antifreeze in there. So I'm not going to add any more antifreeze to it like I would if it was really cold outside. But we got all this loose dirt from this catch circle, and that's what I'm going to use to cover it up, blend it in. And you can see that looks real nice. Catch circle itself is an attractant. So now what I like to do, I put a hole in right where I want my scent. This set was a cat set with SuperCat by Wayne Derrick and Pecos Valley by Wayne Derrick. So I think I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm actually going to put Cleats Apple Road Bobcat Glandler instead. And I'm going to use a cat turd. Got some cat turds. Pretty good. Just a little bit. What I do, find something local, to get the cat gland out with. And I'm going to get this cat gland out. And I'm going to kind of rub it a little bit on the backing. I'm going to put some on the turd. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rest of it down in that hole. And then the Pecos, I'm going to put in on the backing predominantly. Kind of rub it in some of the pores in this skull. And then I'm going to take that, put that down in the hole too. And once you got that in there, add a little bit of urine to it. Make sure you soak the turd good. And that set's remade. Doesn't take long. Takes longer to scout for where you're going to put sets than it does to remake them and put them in the ground. And you should spend, in the early season, as much time as you can scouting. Find your cat toilets, find your coyote highways. You know, when you got tracks coming and going and turds, you're in a prime spot, and that's where they're going to be. So, you make sets like this when you're in those prime spots, and they're going to pick up animals no matter what. So that's my finished cat set, which seems to be a great coyote killer set right now.